Hello, good morning students. So today I'll be explaining a function program from the solve exercises, right? So if you check the solve exercise in there, you can see this particular program, that is what will be the output of the following program. So similar types of this type of questions will be there. So you there or in the this is solve exercise, so this program is written and the output will be written here. So today I'll show you how you get this output. All right, so if you can understand how you get this output, the other solve exercise programs will also be similar, which are similar. You'll have a much better understanding of how you generate this output. All right, so here in this program you see that this is the call function. All right, this is the call function, and uh, this is the main function body. So in the main function body you can see that two variables are declared and assigned, initialized, that is assigned the value 50 and 20. Now you have execute b, which is the calling function. So this is the function name, and this function is passing the value of b, which is 20. After that, cout, a and b value will be displayed. Again, the calling function, another calling function is invoked, which is execute a and b. Here the actual arguments 50 and 20 will be passed by this function to the call function. Then after that, cout, a and b value will be displayed. So you can see that we have three cout statements, so you have three outputs. Now in the call function, or in the function definition, you can see that the return type is void, because after the formula is executed we have a simple cout statement. That is, if the test expression turns out to be uh, if the test expression turns out to be in this case y is not equals to 200 turns out to be true, cout statement will be executed. So here you can see that this function is declaring two variables, that is x and y. In the case of y, a default value has been assigned 200. So this is your default argument. So which means that if no value is passed from the calling function, this value will be assigned in the place of the in place of that particular variable which is not passing the value, right? So that is the use of this default value or default argument. Now in the case of this ampersand x, so what happens is here ampersand x means in the case of this calling function, you are passing the value of b equals to 20, right? So here you are passing the address of the variable, that is b, to this variable x. So the x acts as a reference for this variable b. All right, so what happens is when you're using this ampersand symbol, whatever changes is made by this variable x value, that will affect the original variable argument. All right, so 20 will be changed to the value that is you get here, right? So now here execute b. As you can see that a value is not passed, the variable a is not passed to the call function, right? Only the variable b is passed. That means the value, the argument 20, is passed by this function. So in that case, since you have two variables here, right, two variables to be declared, so b value 20, or in this case, will be passed to this x. That means the address of b will be passed here and stored in this x. Then y will take the place, y will be assigned the value 200. So here int temp equals to x plus y, which will be 20 plus 200. All right, then x plus equals to 10 means x equals to x plus 10, right? Then if this value turns out to be true, all right, that is y equals not equals to 200, as long as this test condition is true, cout will be executed. But if suppose the value of y is 200, which is equals to 200, right? So now value of y and the constant value 200 turns out to be true, then cout will not be executed. All right, so now when we execute this calling function, then A value and B value will be the actual argument 50 and 20 will be passed in here. Right, so let's see how we get this output using the dry run method. Right, so here I've made it as simple as possible for you to understand. All right, so uh, so in order that you can get a better understanding, all right, so I've made a detailed dry run method on that. So here initially A and B are assigned 50 and 20. So next step is execute B. So since the main function will be executed first, right, so execute B. So the calling function is invoked and it passes the value of B equals to 20. So which is, so the address of B is variable is passed to this X. So X will be stored 20 and then Y will store the value 200. Y will be assigned the value 200. Now the formula will be executed. Temp equals to X plus Y, which is 20 plus 200 is 220. So now X plus equals to temp, which is in the next step, right? So that is X equals to, what is the value of X? 20, right? X is 20, and then temp value is what? 220. So you get 240. Now next step is the if test expression, that is here. So if Y not equals to 200, what is the value of Y? Y value is 200, right? Y value is 200. So that is the default value. So 200 not equals to 200, which is false, because 200 is equals to 200, right? So in that case, the cout statement, this one, cout temp xy, this will not be executed, right? And then after that, what will happen is that control will come back to the calling function, and then it will move on to the next line statement, which is cout a b, right? So now what is, so after that it comes here, right? So after that it comes here, which is cout a and b. Now what is the value of a? Since the value of a was not passed, okay, so a value by default it was 50, so which it will be displayed. But in the case of B, initially B was 20, right? But we passed the address of this variable B to X, right? So any changes made to the value of X, right, any changes made to the value of X, now you can see that X has changed from 20 to 20 plus 220 equals to 240, right? So that value will be affected, and so instead of 20 you get the value of B as 240, because you pass the address of this variable B to X, right? So that's why now the value, the argument value has been affected, and then you get, instead of 20 it will store the value 240, right? Then after that, the next step is execute AB. So invoking the calling function, so the value of 50 and 50, and now instead of 20, 240 will be passed, right? So here you can see that in ampersand x y equals to, but in this case, since b value is 240 is passed to the call function, then in that case the default value will not be used, the default argument will not be used, right? So since the calling function is passing the value 50 and 40 here, in that case 50 and 240 will be assigned, but not 200, right? So if only no values are passed, then the default value will be used. So here temp equals to 50 plus 240 is 290, and then after that x equals to, x value is 50, right? And then temp value is 290, so you get 340. Now 290 is not equals to 200, which is true, right? So now cout temp, so what is temp? 290, right? What is the value of x now? X value is 340, and what is the value of y? Y is now 240, right? So that value will be displayed, so this will be displayed first, this will be displayed second, and right after that you have the cout a and b, right? So now what is the value of a in this case? A value is x, which is 340, and b value is y. which is 240, right? So that way you get the output 50, 240, 290, 340, 240, and then 340, 240, right? So if you run this program, then you can see that okay, there is some problem. Okay, so if you run this program, compile and run it, so this is how you get the output. All right. So what you can do is that you can make changes to the value here. Okay, you can make changes to the value and see, and instead of B, you can write A also. All right, and here instead of AB, you can also make it say like B only. All right. So, and instead of this ampersand X, you can make it also like ampersand Y and assign this value here. So try modifying the program and see what outputs you are getting. All right.